have you noticed any patterns or stereotypical behavior when it comes to millennials versus Gen Z versus, Gen X or baby boomers or people who are much older and now in their 50s? Do you have any things you observe that you can share?
I think if we talk about the babies, boomers, that's when I started my career, and I was an MT, and I was interning first, and then I was an MT. At that time, I realized that these baby boomers are very insecure. They have a lot of experience, but they haven't really, and across again across SECs. So if you look at the Bs and the Cs, yes, they have a lot of experience, but they haven't upgraded themselves with time. They did not, you need to adapt and adopt new things that are coming up, because every time, every few months, every day, every week, new things are coming up. So they were very insecure because of that. But then it was up to us to give them that comfort level. I realized that, okay, they are very defensive and they will not let us penetrate. And that's when, and when I started off, I realized that, you have to tell them that, look, this is you're very senior, you're a GM, or at that time, general manager was a very, very senior position, or you're a head of the unit, and you have so much experience. I really have to learn a lot from you. And then that ice breaking would take place. Only when we were able to give them that level of comfort that, we realize you're very and yes, we have knowledge, we have new concepts, but they in isolation will not really make a difference unless your level of experience and expertise help us. So then that is when we started working together, and I realized that, and yeah, we do need that level of experience, because nothing can replace experience. So I think baby boomers ka wo hai. Then you come to the Gen Z, I would say, the millennials, I would say. Millennials ke andar, they were independent. They would like to experiment new things, but वो जब आ चुके थे ऑलरेडी वर्क फोर्स में, उसी में चीजें आनी शुरू हुई. सो फॉर द आई वुड से millennials, it wasn't from their childhood that they had access to the screens and the touch screens and all the digital technology and YouTube and everything on your fingertips, Google and all. So at that time, Yahoo hota tha, I think Hotmail hota tha, and that in itself did empower them, but again, they had a little bit of that cultural thing and the values, and they wouldn't confront, they wouldn't take their seniors head on. They would try to come to a comfortable solution or work relationship to move forward and climb up the corporate ladder. There were some who were very ambitious and who would take sometimes head on, but then they would be pushed to the corner. So, and those people you would see have a lot of like a year here, 6 months here, that way. So unko sideline kar diya jata tha. And ये बहुत strong culture है in the corporate, and at least you will not find this in the advanced companies, the few MNCs or FMCGs, but आपका Pakistan is, I would say 80, 85, 90% SMEs and medium-sized enterprises, or where these are family-run businesses. They're not listed corporates, they're not conglomerates, and they're not multinationals. So, having said that, minus the Shells and the Unilevers and the Reckitt's, and inko aap side pe kar do, where the systems were very ingrained. You wouldn't get along or get ahead if you would take people head on. So yeah, that was always there. Come to the Gen Z, they are a different breed altogether. I mean, they're the digital natives. They've been born. I mean, they're babies, and you're taking their photographs with the phone, and they know. I mean, somehow they'll give you a smile. So, I mean, that's your 35, I think more than 35, 40, 45% of your population is the Gen Z. They're very independent. It's very good. They have that entrepreneurial spirit. They know they'll do it. They do not they don't, then they don't shy away from confrontation. They will take bold steps. But then again, there needs to be a little bit more of balance, because you see, these larger organizations and corporates have not been made like that, just with an entrepreneurial spirit. Once you need that entrepreneurial spirit, but over time you need to add on to it. You need to bring in the corporate culture. You need to make teams, and you can't go independent and do everything. For, like for a startup, it makes sense. But after, once you're a startup and you're there, fine. Now you're a medium-sized organization. Now you need to build a team. Now you need to diversify your businesses. So, that bit has to come in, and the Gen Z has to now. I think it'll take a while once they're in the corporate culture, once they do their entrepreneurial activities, they get funding, they get these, especially tech mein to bahut zyada, this is happening, when they're getting all sorts of funding from the world over. Seed fund aa jata hai, round A, round B, round C, ये सारे हो जाते हैं funding. But at the end of the day, what matters is not your ability to burn cash, not your ability to become huge and still keep burning cash. At the end of the day, you need to be profitable. You need to have stable, consistent teams in place, which, and not every, you have to understand, this is a services sector. If you look at the total GDP of the country, and you give it a split, you say the services sector hai, there's the agri sector and an industry. World over, agar aap GDP contribution ko split karen, different countries have different combinations. In Pakistan, if you look at the combination, abhi kya ho raha hai? Services sector 60% chala gaya, it's swelled up. Your agri is at 18%, and I think 17 or so, and our industry is at 18 and 19%, but just below 20%, both agri and industry. You can, services exist to serve the industry and agri, or the retail. Okay, so what's happening is the Gen Z is going majorly into the services sector. Now I'm not talking about, मैं बिल्कुल micro नहीं देख रही, मैं बहुत macro perspective से बात कर रही हूँ. If you look at any country, you need industry. Industry is not set up by only entrepreneurship for the longer run. Solo companies can't survive in the longer run. So these tech startups, these entrepreneurs need to go through an incubation phase. They need to learn, start standing up, build teams, become sustainable, and then move into that proper corporate culture, adopt corporate governance practices, and become industries. I mean, you have to, there has to be somebody who's building industry, otherwise we'll end up servicing the rest of the world and not making anything. And we, I mean, when you look at Pakistan, we don't print dollars, you see, and because of our imports, we need to have sufficient exports, which can come through your software, definitely, which can come through IT services, which can come through tourism, but then that is also a limit to which you can actually develop that. There's a huge gap there, definitely, but wo bhi ho jayega. But simultaneously, you need industry, and that is something where the Gen Z has to play a major role, and they have to mature out of their total always entrepreneurial streak.